Worlds Infinita. The Chronicles of Talpia, Season 1, Episode 2. Horus Ristios Galaxy, Galton Sector, Star System Arena, Galactic Calendar Cycle 4653, 4th Quarter. Upon reflection of my prior thoughts of rebellion against authority, I have since taken measures to ensure my actions here remain uninterrupted, such as manipulating the feed data to ensure only minor records are sent back to the higher-ups, and my own personal records are set in a private database partition. Now that I am unrestrained by the petty politics of scientific reserve, I can begin my experimentation in true earnest. Truly a glorious day. And no going back, as I will not be given another chance if discovered. Now, return back to Sector Unos. I wish to observe the emergence of this tribal culture. System, create a new log. Designation Magentan Project. On my personal partition. Initial log begin. From some preliminary observations, the species seem to have formed into communal tribes. They don't seem to have any particular structure I can discern, nor a hierarchy. Remember, if Tribe Prime seems to have equal authority within their governing ethics. The government is still primitive, but still obvious to see for the discerning eye. They gather together every solar cycle, the entire tribe, composed of 107 subjects. There has been no leader emerging, so unlikely they'll develop a monarchy-based system or a chieftain authoritative rule. They are reminiscent of a democracy, similar to what the filthy Earthies had before the unification under imperial rule. Democracies, as the Earthies call it, is not a unique concept amongst the governing bodies of the galaxy. Various species have tried maintaining them during their surface-age civilizations, but when it came to spacefaring, they tended to lead to more authoritative rule, since a firm grasp on political power was needed, as distance and resource abundance could allow for heavy factionalization. The species seem to possess all the hallmarks of a democratic system, given the fact that I have a very communal tribal society with no apparent consolidated single ruler. Yet I do not believe it is a democracy. They don't seem to divide those who wield political power to those without. Currently I'm observing their communal ritual, which is an event that occurs every solar cycle. The entire group of over 100 citizens all gather together to dance and sing and discuss matters of the tribe. Everyone seems to have a voice, and from what my translation has discerned, they are discussing the encounter of another tribe. I shall designate them Tribe Secundus. Tribe Prime are discussing how they should interact with Tribe Secundus. They don't seem to have a representative that speaks or judges the discussion, issuing a verdict. It seems the entire tribe has a voice. One would think they were descended to chaos, yet they do not. Each voice is heard with little to no argument. Perhaps they've developed a tight-knit collective due to their mating habits. I have observed their mating rituals, and it seems they do not concern themselves over select partners or groups. There may be some sort of selection process, perhaps testing the genes to discern the best offspring. Maybe. Regardless, further study of how they administer their tribe will be necessary to understand the future of the species. Now to Tribe Secundus. They have a similar governing body as a collective as well. Yet their practices differ from Tribe Prime. They have a similar solar cycle ritual, yet during that ritual they seem to be praying to the sun. Perhaps some sort of religion taking root. They have also been discussing their encounter with Tribe Prime, and many have expressed interest in, I believe, converting them to the ordained Red Sun God. Not sure if that translation is accurate. Let me check. Oh, that's right. Ordained Red Sun God. No. Unlike Tribe Prime, Secundus does have the trappings of potential political power centralization. I have designated it as High Priest. Seems to wield greater authority within the collective, able to drive their actions through religious interpretations of the sun god they worship. The High Priest seems to have impressed upon the need to convert Tribe Prime to their ways, as to strengthen the communal mating rituals with new devout blood. A diplomatic party has been selected to greet Tribe Prime with an offer to join the religious collective. I wonder if they'll agree or refuse. I personally have not looked into religion that much. It was a rarity upon my homeworld, and in my society. But one of the major powers of the galaxy is heavily religious. The followers, they call themselves. Some sort of trite journey they claims upon all the devout. Frivolous stupidity in my opinion, but to a primitive society it may as well be gospel. I shall watch and wait. See how this turns out. Galactic Calendar Cycle 4653, 5th quarter. It took forever for Tribe Secundus to reach Tribe Prime. Tribe Prime had agreed to meet with Secundus for negotiation, and the festivities are beginning now. The diplomats of Secundus and the entire collective of Prime are now seated around the communal fire. They seem to speak similar languages, perhaps a common ancestor. The diplomat, or I would say priest, of the Secundus spread is explaining their religion to the entirety of Tribe Prime. Apparently they worship all the celestial bodies in the sky. The Red Sun, their main deity, known as the Perfect One, the one without blemish, as it shines without stain, so must all pray to its magnificence. Rather overblown, but it has a certain flair to it. Like an impressive showman, this one is. I see Tribe Prime is barely following what the priest is speaking about. Tribe Prime had not a single religious aspect to their development, from what I've seen, and it shows with their blank stares. The priests continue listing out their other deities. The Imperfect One, which is the largest moon, apparently some sort of enemy to the Perfect Sun God. The two other smaller moons, the minions of the Imperfect One. Apparently this concept of a singular perfect deity and three imperfect deities is quite significant, as they claim the Perfect One shall descend from the sky to breed perfection to all Mageddon. One of the Tribe Prime members appears to raise its hand in protest. This one I shall call the Voice of Reason. Yet the further he speaks, such logic is cause for concern. The Voice of Reason begins its own tirade about the invalidity of the priest's entire religion, stating there is no perfect one. The sky is for the great fire to brighten their lives, and the imperfect ones are not gods, but lights to shine upon the great hunt to feed the people. Its words seem to enrage the priest, as his own gods point their spears at the Voice of Reason, prompting the entire tribe, young and old, to grab their spears and levy them against the priest. Ooh, this is getting interesting. Perhaps it'll be a tribal war. The Voice of Reason begins a new tirade, stating the priest and Tribe Secundus are unwelcome here, and declare all tribes must not set foot on their lands. A bit of an over-exaggeration, but I understand his fervor. With this, the priest and his people vanished into the night, leaving behind a new threat of war. Well, it was inevitable. Tribal conflict is of their nature. I wonder what will happen. End log. The Chronicles of Talpia, Season 1, Episode 2. To be continued. Thank you for listening.